Alright. Just gonna make a quick video, or however long it takes, I guess, to talk about the twin, as per usual. It's what a lot of the people are talking about now. One thing about the journey is part of what makes it so confusing is how, well, the confusion comes from your mind, from ego, really. But it's like, the truth of it is so clear that it's being shown to you in every which possible way, but because ego's in the way, causing fear, doubt, pain, sorrow, that, and also creating certain kinds of energies and expectations that aren't organic to you, right? But because of the depth of your identification with ego, that it makes it impossible to really see, So unless you're committed to becoming clear and conscious, then you have to basically do this twin flame thing on faith and with a completely open and loving heart, with a heart that's willing to be open and completely open and loving for them, even though that seems like it's the hardest thing, because it's like your ego is almost set up in a way that it is entirely resistant to you doing that, basically. Like, so much so that you will have an almost existential quarrel with your twin, just to not have to concede on a fight that you guys are having, right? Instead of basically just letting all your walls down and just coming to them, not even necessarily in the physical, just letting all the walls down, basically, just doing that. Because it's not even the reason why they run and why they're not able to be with you is because you're running from yourself and you're not able to be with yourself. And I know that you might have heard something like that, or even if you haven't, hearing something like that might make you feel gaslit or frustrated, but it's just it's true. What it is that's feeling like it's being gaslit is the problem, and it feels like I'm calling you out, and I am, but it's not the you who you really are. It's the false you that you're identified with. Now, if you could see through it just a little bit so that you don't take it as seriously, it would be infinitely easier to keep them around. But when you're so dead serious about your ego, it doesn't matter what form or shape it takes. It's unless it's a form and shape that kind of allows them to stick around, because there's a few of them are like that, and it kind of looks like the shape of someone who is willing to have their twin flame around no matter what the twin flame does, or no matter what the dynamic is like, as long as they're around, you're fine. Someone like that is able to somehow open themselves up enough to faith that they, even though they're stuck in ego, the ego is able to give way enough through the act of, through faith, that it allows whatever's happening to happen, basically, instead of fighting the entire process. So basically what it comes down to is with you and your twin flame is that you know, they are you. The most fundamental meaning of what that is. But you, what that is not an identity. So if you're looking for a sense of self or someone in like the sense of self that you know now, which is egoic, and you find something, just know that that's an illusion and a delusion. It's not real. But also the you that you think you are, that's having all these problems with your twin flame, is also not real. Just in the same way that all the problems that they're having with you and the reasons why they're not wanting to be with you and the reasons why they're running, and you also know this, isn't real. It's all ego. It's all ego. It's not just that they're in their ego, but you're in your ego too, just as much. Like they are a perfect mirror. You can't get away from it. The only thing is you don't like what you're seeing, so you want to bypass it, but you can't. You actually can't. That's the journey. That's the journey. But if you go through the journey, or at least you're willing to go through the journey, they will be there with you, and they will want to be there with you. But if you're just trying to get the physical person, and you're so stuck on the physical person, and you just want to keep them around, well, then you're gonna have to do some magic trick to juggle them and keep, and like, you know, you have, it's a constant circus that you're going to have to keep up. Yeah, and you're gonna have to put constant attention in it. Like you can't like slip up for even a second. Or you have to be okay with whatever they do, or however they are, and you can't even complain. You can't say shit. Is that any way to live? No. So you have to do the actual journey. I mean, you're doing the journey anyway. Many of you have probably figured out that you don't actually need the person. You may have gotten to a point where the only time when it gets to that point, really, because you never need the person, but it's like it gets to that point when you're willing to do it without them. You know, that's when you get to that point. But I would say that it's not like that point is a point you get to anyway. But the only reason why it's hard to get there is because your ego is unwilling to drop them as an actual object. Like it's unwilling, you know, to let what's happening already to happen. Because like they can't and don't want to be away from you, because they are you. Like it's like you are one with them. It's like they want to be with you, but it's like they experience, and you've probably heard this, they experience the same thing you're going through, just in an opposite way. So it's in a way that your ego can't understand, because it's functioning in the opposite way that your ego is. It's oriented like that on purpose. Now, it wasn't like that at the start, which is why you experienced a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a taste of what it can be like. Now, it'll be much better than that. It won't actually be anything like that when you get to the other side, but it's like because of that taste of the divine that you basically got, you find it, you basically became instantly addicted. And you just, I need the person, because you inherently know that in order to achieve that, you actually need the other person. But guess what? They know the same thing about you. So even though they're frantically trying to find someone else, because they're trying to bypass it, because you're trying to bypass it, they're your perfect mirror. They're trying to bypass it in the exact way that you're trying to do it. They're trying to find somebody out there, just like how you're trying to use their body for that same purpose of what that is. But it's just like why they're doing it. They're showing you what you're doing. It's a gift, really. It's a gift. But what it is that you fight the image, you fight the reflection. That's what's happening. But anyway, that's the video. People are pulling in next to me and looking at me. Bro, ain't you seen anybody use a video call? Taking a video of yourself is not that crazy, especially if you're talking into it and it seems like you're saying something. Okay. Anyway, that's the video for real. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.